Wednesday. Here we go.
Here we go.
Welcome everybody to Real Chill Conversations. We have a special guest in the building today, and that is Lily. So everybody, welcome her.
Hey everybody.
Welcome, Lily.
Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today.
You're
Thank you. I know
welcome.
I reached out to you and I wanted you to come on the podcast, and I'm thankful that you said yes to that. So, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And today we're going to go 54th episode, right, Brenna?
54th
54th?
episode. Yep.
54th episode of Real Chill Conversations. And today we're talking about narcissists. So,
Narcissists.
um, my main topic for today was why does a narcissist try to ruin your life after a breakup? And I wanted to concentrate on this because most of the time, I've always spoken to you about this, Brenda, that I don't like to call people narcissists,
Yeah.
because that's like only a professional can, really tell you
Right.
if you are or not. But I've been doing my research and I've been so interested to know more about it. And it just like it hits home in a way. So I was able to do my research and we're going to talk about it today because there's a lot of people that are undercover narcissists, and sometimes we have them in our own home. So we're going to talk about it today and see where this goes because we need to know. So
Information is powerful. So it's great that we're talking about it and we can share this information because you may be in a situation where you're involved with a narcissist and maybe you've seen some red flags and you've ignored those red flags, which I think a lot of us do. And yes, you and I, Dominique, have talked about narcissist and narcissism, and you're like, I don't like to call anybody that name because I'm not a professional. No, we're not psychiatrists. We're not psychologists. We're not licensed therapists. We're just women that have experience with these certain types of behaviors that have been exhibited towards us. And we have different experiences with this behavior. So we want to share all of that with y'all so that if you see any of the symptoms and the signs that we're talking about, take a step back and look at your situation because you may be dealing with a narcissist that is completely undercover and only showing themselves when it's time to show out, because narcissists are very, very manipulative. They're very manipulative and they're very good at masking the fact that they're narcissists because they want to flip the script and they want to turn it around. They want to say that their behavior is a result of some action or some saying something that you've said or done, which is not true. And that is, we want to kind of bring that narrative, full circle and talk about it so that we can really get an understanding of what a narcissist is, what is narcissistic behavior, and are you in a situation with a narcissist or are you ending a relationship with someone that's a narcissist, and what is some of the blowback that you've experienced after ending your dealings with a narcissist.
exactly. And I do want to start with this because the narcissists, they'll try to ruin your life because they can't do it by themselves. So they need you to feed their ego. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about what others think as long as you can provide for them. So I want to start with Lily. What is your opinion about this today?
My opinion on a narcissist, only thing I can say to sum it up, a manipulative person, they feel like they have you under their spell. It's just a lot that comes with the narcissist. They make you feel like you're unwanted, you're not what they're looking for, but it's really not you. It's their problem. It's their inside. Everything also reflects back on them. When I think of a narcissist, I feel like it's a healing, well, a trauma bond that they have, and they haven't grown from it. Their wound is still open. They haven't covered from it. So they go to the next person, try to make them sweet talk them, and all at the same time they're putting them down. So very manipulative is how I feel on that narcissist.
So that's like a personality disorder. I mean, do y'all really think that is there's cure for that? Because it's a very hard task unless you're a professional and you're strictly dedicated to something like that. Because some people come into a relationship with narcissist people and they try to fix them. We can't fix these people.
Can't fix these people. And to answer your question, Dominique, narcissism is a personality disorder. The Diagnostic and Statistic Manual of Mental Disorders edition describes narcissistic behavior as a grandiose self-importance. That person feels that they are super important, more important than anything else, more important than anybody else. They have preoccupation with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. They believe that they are special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other people or high status people. They require excessive admiration. They also have a sense of entitlement with unreasonable expectations, especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with their expectations. So, those are just some of the few descriptions that talk about narcissistic personality disorder.
And not only that, Brenda, but I feel like when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they if they let their guard down to you, it's like they feel like you should be honored by
Right.
that. For them
Right.
to let them let That's why it's so hard to get out of these relationships and for a narcissist not to come after you, because they're gonna say, oh, the first thing that's gonna come to their mind is, I let my guard down with this person, they know everything about me, like they can't, I can't let this be.
Right.
So they're gonna try to ruin your life. They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna try to ruin your life. Try.
Right. Because you're not falling underneath their spell of manipulation, and they have this high expectation of certain behavior. And if you don't comply with that, then you're not on their level. So they think that they're above you, that you're beneath them, and they start talking to you any kind of way. They start gaslighting you. They start blaming you for all their problems that they never take accountability for. And that's
Or
another.
they will say, or they will say, you know everything about me, so I'm
Right.
about to get rid of you.
Right. Right. Because they don't want the world to know the true them. They don't
Right.
want to reveal their true selves. So they
Exactly.
feel like in an intimate relationship, in a romantic relationship, in a marriage or whatever, they feel like if they've been vulnerable enough to share certain things with you, then you owe it to them to act in a certain manner and to behave in a certain manner and to go along with all of their ideas and all of their specifics in terms of behavior and what they expect. And a lot of what they expect is unrealistic. They have unrealistic expectations, but at the same time, they never take into consideration your feelings, your thoughts, your initiatives of things that you want to do. And if you're in a relationship with a narcissist and you start branching out and doing things like Lily, you have a bunch of different things going on and LLCs and small businesses and things like that. If you were in a relationship with a narcissist, that narcissist is going to become envious and going to become jealous of the successes that you're achieving and that you're accomplishing on your own without them. They feel like you can't
Mhm.
accomplish anything by yourself, that you need them in order to be successful. Now, I'm not saying when you're in a partnership with someone, when you're in a relationship with someone, they shouldn't be supportive and they shouldn't be encouraging. But for them to have the belief that you can't make the success happen without their presence is a grandiose thought of theirs. And it leads to their self importance and them feeling that they're up here and you're right here.
Like they're entitled.
Entitlement is on the list.
So
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. They need that power.
Right.
to,
How they get
because once they lose the power of control, then what?
They
Go
lose
ahead,
their mind.
Vivian. Sorry.
it make them feel like they're empowered, they're in control because hey, I know she's gonna do such and such. I know if I tell her this, she's gonna do that. Yes, very manipulative. Yes.
So, what if we knew some things that narcissist fears the most? I'll start with one:
Go ahead.
taking accountability for their actions,
Yes.
for their
Yeah.
shit. They
Yeah.
not gonna do that.
No. No, that's when the gaslighting starts.
Mhm.
That's when the blame on you starts. That's when the if you would just do this, then I would just do that. That's when they start placing the blame, not taking accountability, not taking responsibility. And then when they see you on a path to growth, to empowerment, and to recognizing your true worth and recognizing yourself and seeing your light starting to shine, they become super jealous and super envious of that. And that's what puts them on that path to trying to destroy you and
Not
trying to
only that, Brenda, but they feel like they had something to do with your success, when
exactly.
that may not even be the case.
Exactly. They want an acknowledgement that you got
Right.
to where you got to because of them. And
Right.
if you don't give them that acknowledgement, then you start seeing the really nasty, negative, gaslighting type behaviors because they're like, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for me, if I didn't tell you this, you wouldn't have done that, which is not the case. They want to claim all the glory and all of the success and not give you your flowers that you've gone out on a limb and you've done something and you've
And
accomplished something
you
on your own.
done
Yes.
for
Yes.
yourself.
For yourself.
Whew, that's a deep one. But the
Yeah.
next one is rejection. People pleasers fire them up. See, I am very empath person. I can consider myself that. So a
Me too.
narcissist will definitely feed off of me.
Exactly.
It's just because, I think I do see the great in people. I see
Yes.
more good than bad.
Right.
So I learned that they feed off those type of people.
They do.
Those are their people.
They're
Those are
drawn
their
they're
targets.
drawn to empaths because they know that empaths are going to be sympathetic to whatever situation it is that they've gone through, especially if they've gone through a traumatic experience, if they had a traumatic childhood. In everything that I was reading, it says that narcissism develops in early childhood. And it stems from a lot of these people having negative experiences with people and not being able to build trust with people. So then they didn't, then in turn, build themselves up to be this super person that's above authority, that's above what you say, that's above any and all things. So it starts early, it starts young. And
And
when you're sympathetic to somebody's past traumas that they've gone through and you're trying to help them and guide them through and be supportive, they are feeding into that like you've given them their favorite meal and they can't stop eating it. And that blows up their ego even more because it's like, oh, now she bought it, she went for it, and now I've got her.
but not only that, but they you're right. You're right. It comes from childhood, but the childhood is parents who were so overly protective of their kids and spoiled them straight brats, or parents that rejected their kids
Right. Right.
because now they feel some type of entitlement of, okay, I'm entitled to this, so I am going to belittle this person.
Mm-hmm.
And women are not only women but men as well, because you have narcissists in both spectrums.
Right.
But they're not noticing this. They're not noticing these signs, and there's a lot of signs out there. So we do have to be aware of this, because not only is that enough that you have a narcissist, but it can also turn that person into a sociopath. So it's like abuse. That's where the abuse comes in, and it
Yeah.
escalates to something more and more and more.
Hmm.
So you want to be careful with that.
Very careful.
Go
Very
ahead,
careful.
Lily. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. Yes, like you say, it starts all like the trauma bond. It starts somewhere. You just have to figure out where does it start. But the person, they have to be the one to figure it out. We're always the ones. Hey, I know we're their lady, but we want to help them figure it out. That's something that I had to learn. They have to figure that out on their own. They have to know what's going on with them, what's making them feel this way, why. Because it's a reason. It just has to be found in them. No one else, I feel like no one else can tell you how you feel. You have to like it's a trauma bond. You have to know where it starts. And if you're willing to take that challenge, you have to be the one to go figure out where did that start from. So you can't just, I wouldn't say that I would put all the blame on me, because I know that it's not my fault, because that's their trauma bond that they haven't wound that they haven't closed yet.
I understand that, but what do you suggest on uh, when a person is in a relationship with a narcissist? How are they supposed to help? Because if you're asking me at this point today in my life, um, I seem to believe that a regular person is not going to be able to help with that. If anything, you'll be putting yourself through more strain. And
Yeah.
that's like you really have to be mentally stable, mentally strong for that. Because especially, listen, like most women or most people nowadays in 2023 have kids. Like, do you really want to be in a relationship like that when you're having like mentally, you have to be mentally prepared for other things,
Yeah.
and then you want to carry something like that on your back? Like,
No,
A
what do
lot.
we do?
no. It's
Now,
it's really really challenging, and it's really difficult to finally come to the realization that you're dealing with a narcissist. And a lot of times, like I said previously, you don't recognize the fact that you're dealing with a narcissist because the empath in you is trying to be sympathetic to their situation, and we try to excuse away the behavior. Oh, well, they don't know any better because they weren't taught this. They don't know any better because their last three relationships were bad, or they were treated badly, or what have you. So we try to make excuses, and we try to love that person, feel like if we give them enough love and enough care and enough support and enough attention, that those behaviors are going to change. But all we're doing is giving them more to absorb, to create that greater inflated sense of self. And it's just a terrible cycle. And it's horrible because now you feel like I'm stuck. I'm in a situation. I don't know how to get out of the situation. And then when you try to get out of the situation, the narcissist doesn't want to let you go because they feel like they have a power over you, and they feel like you're superior to them. And it's, oh no, you're not leaving me. If this thing is going to end, it's going to end on my terms and how I want it to end, not
Oh,
because
you left me? Me?
right.
yeah.
You left me because I did what?
And
They
then
Yeah.
don't, like, you just supposed to sit here and let them keep repeating the same thing over again. And it's okay to them. Like, you're supposed to live
Right.
like that. Who wants
Right.
that?
Nobody
Not
wants that.
me. I'm
But
done. I don't want that. I don't want that.
nobody wants that, but they think that it's fine, that it's absolutely fine. And again, you're not the one that is supposed to initiate the ending or the termination of the relationship. If they decide that they're done with you, then they're done with you. But they're not done with you if they continue to harass you, they continue to bother you, they're calling your phone, they're finding out where you're at, they're reaching out to your people, they're doing all types of things to keep track of what you've got going on because they can't accept the fact that it's over, that it's ended, that you're done with them, that you want nothing to do with them any longer. That concept does not comprehend. Message is not received in the mind of a narcissist, unfortunately.
And this is where the smear campaign starts, you all. Look at me carefully. This is where the smear campaign starts. Posting stuff on Facebook, on Instagram, calling people, telling them you're this, you're that, you have this, you have that.
That's
Yeah,
part. Now you want people to turn on you and look at you as the bad person, when all in reality they know what they've done, how they done. They know. All in reality, they just want to flip it, do the reverse psychology.
Exactly. They want to flip it. So they're going to tell their friends and their family, your friends and your family, how you did them so wrong, how all you ever did was be there for them and you supported them and this, that, and the other. And they don't understand why you're treating them this way. They want to gain that sympathy because they need the attention. Narcissists crave attention. They crave attention. They crave admiration, and they crave that power that they had previously over you. They want to continue to maintain that. They don't want you to become independent. They don't want you to
exactly.
become in a place where you become successful without them. They don't want you to have your light shining while they're going through the fact that you don't want to be with them anymore. They don't want that. That's the last thing that they want. So as Dominique said, that's where the smear campaign starts. That's when they start dragging your name through the mud. That's when they start telling people that you're this, that, and whatever. That's when they start trying to use things against you and the whole gaslighting and all of that. But to me, it just crosses such a line when you've been dealing with somebody for some years and you can't just amicably come to the conclusion and the decision, hey, this isn't working. This isn't working for me and it's not working for you. I think the best thing for us is for us to go our separate ways. Oh no. Oh no. They can't handle that. That's a
And
no-no.
the thing is that you want to, someone like me, I would usually feel sorry. I would usually have empathy, of people's past and what they've been through. But these people know exactly what they're doing, y'all. They know
Yeah.
exactly what they're doing. They might not know why they're doing it, but they know exactly what they're
They
doing.
know
They know
why.
it's wrong.
Why?
They know why.
Yeah.
They know why. It comes back to accountability, and they don't want to be accountable for their behaviors, like taking something and posting it on Facebook or posting it on social media or calling up your friends and your family and saying, did you know that so and so and so and so was doing this and doing that and whatever, trying to air your quote unquote dirty laundry to make you feel bad, to paint a bad picture of you. Okay, well, if I'm such a terrible person and you're on this smear campaign and you're trying to get my friends to turn against me, my family to turn against me, you want everybody to feel sorry for me, but at the same time, you don't want to
No,
let me.
Brenna, no, they want you by yourself. That's why
Yes,
they're doing that, because
yes.
their hopes is that you come back running to them. That's why.
Saying I can't make it
Where you
without you.
don't have nobody else by your side, and you
That's
say,
it.
you know what? It was worse not being with this person. I might as well go back,
Yeah,
because at least I can control them, not talking about me, not smearing my name, my
yeah,
character, my reputation, everything that comes with it. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? That's what they want. They want you to get to the edge where you say, it's best for me to just go back to this person, but it's not like that. It's not going to happen. That's the end goal, for you to have nobody, for your friends to leave you, for your family to turn their back on you because they want to see you with nothing. Because they say you're nothing without me.
Yes,
So
facts.
that's the goal, for you to
Yeah,
come running back to give them
facts.
the power
Right.
and feed their ego.
And if you do make the decision to go back, then all you're doing is reinforcing that self-inflated ego and the fact that they feel like they have all this power and control over you. They've just won. And winning is all that they're after. They just want to win. And a win to them is breaking you down to the point where you're like, okay, all right, we can work it out. We'll make it happen. Da 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 da. And that's the point that they want to get you to. They want to break you down to the point where you feel like you can't stand by yourself because you feel so alone. And because they've done so much character assassination and trying to ruin your reputation, that you have no choice but to stick with them. But see, that's not the case, because we see through that. We see through those behaviors. We know what it is. We get what it is. We understand what it is. Maybe we didn't in the beginning, but once we get to that point, when we're finished with the mistreatment and with the narcissistic behaviors and the constant back and forth and the manipulation and the control, when you're done, you know that you're done. When you're ready to walk away and say, if I have to start over from scratch, I will start over from scratch. If I have to move out of state, I will move out of state. Baby, I did that. I moved to a whole new state to keep away from a narcissist. Okay? A whole state. I had made a plan for myself. I had a job set up for myself, found an apartment for myself, went ahead and then later bought a house by myself. And this person told me, I give you 6 months and you're going to come back. Baby, it's been years. I've not gone back. I've not gone back. And I remember those words. I remember those words with him telling me that I wasn't going to make it 6 months without being with him. But I did it. And I excelled and I achieved and I accomplished and I was doing everything that I was supposed to do and more. I was actually more successful by myself than I was with him,
You
because I was
won.
always struggling. I was always struggling with this person. It was always a struggle. And this person never wanted to take accountability, never wanted to take responsibility. And every time I would try to end it, it would end. But then what would happen? He would call me up and he would need something. And the empath in me would feel bad. Oh, I don't want him to feel like he don't have nowhere to go. I don't want him to feel like he don't have nothing to eat. I don't want him to feel like he can't go over to his friend's house or whatever, whatever. I'm lending out my car. I'm giving out money. I'm doing all these things. And the younger me didn't recognize that this person was taking advantage of me the whole time and was preying on my sympathetic self to carry them through, because they had a really traumatic past and a really traumatic childhood. So me being involved in that relationship, I factored all those things in, and I kept trying to explain away the behavior. Oh, he doesn't know any better. He doesn't know how to do. He doesn't know how to be different. I'm just
Making
going to
excuses.
I'm going to
Yeah.
just show him so much love, and I'm just going to be there for him, and I'm just going to take care of him. No, I was being taken advantage of. He was
Right.
like, I'm getting over easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to reevaluate my life, and I had to reevaluate myself. And when I said that I was thinking about making a move, he was like, "Oh, I'm not moving. I'm not moving out of state." And I was like, "Well, I'm still going." And when I said I was still going, his statement to me was, "I give you 6 months out there by yourself before you come back." And I haven't looked back since. Haven't looked back since. Best decision I ever made. Best decision I ever made. But I gave this person years of my life and having them prey on me being a sympathetic and an empathetic person, to allowing them to just use and abuse me mentally, emotionally, sometimes physically, just because I felt like this person didn't know any better and they just needed help. And that
I've
love,
had
me being there, was going to fix it. and it didn't.
I've had finances blocked. I've had um, death threats. I've had um, things that has happened to my vehicle, where I could have ended in a really bad situation. Not just me, but my kids as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, they maintain you in fear and submission, and I mean, they just want to have the control over you, and they don't care who is in the way. They don't care who else they affect. That's their goal. Lily, what you have to say about that? I can't hear you. You're mute.
Mhm.
Huh?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
About the narcissist, what I can say is like they do want to control you. I've been in situations where there's been things that I know I could do or wanted to do, and just by that person blocking it, like you say, miss so many financial blessings that could have been happening. It's with the narcissist. There's a lot, like you say, you don't want to call them that. You don't want to bring that out of them, but it's tough when you are dealing with them because you have to go through so many different phases that they have. You don't know if you're walking on eggshells or what. Like 1 minute you're fine, the next minute, hey, I don't know if I'm scared or not. So it's crazy. Love is a dangerous thing, and when I say I've seen it, I know it. Love can be a dangerous thing, and dealing with a narcissist, it's it's crazy. The only thing that I could say, or to anyone, if you are dealing with a narcissist, know the signs, know the red flags and the things to get out of it. Talk to someone. There's been times where I just wanted to cry and I was like, hey, is it me? No, it's not you. It's nothing that you've done, nothing that I've.
Yeah, nothing.
You can cater, you can do everything in your power for that person. It's just what their mind is stuck on. And like I say, running it back, that's something that they have to deal with. It's something that they have to take accountability for. And that's going to be the hardest part of them, is taking their accountability for the actions that they make, because it affects a lot of people, especially if you have children and more.
Exactly.
Effects. And I've seen it on firsthand situation, not just dealing with relationship problems, but a lot of people in this world deals with it. And it's scary because you never know. You will never know all of the signs until actually it gets to the ending. And it's scary to deal
No,
with.
it really is scary because, like I was saying at first, when we first started,
Mm-hmm.
this can escalate. You may not be dealing with just a narcissist, you may be dealing with a sociopath as well. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't get to the point where you can't call on nobody. If you're in a
Right.
bad situation and you need help, you need to speak up. Call the police. Um,
Yes.
get some help. I mean, put some restraining orders, in place, or whatever you need to do. But you need to protect yourself,
You
especially
have.
when it goes to the abuse part of the situation. That's like a whole nother part that is like, we'll be on here forever if we start talking about that. But yeah.
It's a whole different situation
Exactly.
when you get to the end. And I think that all the true revelations and all the warning signs and all the flags, they come flooding to you almost like you're in a dreamlike state. And it's
Yeah.
almost like you rewind, and it's like you go back in time and you remember all the different situations and all the different scenarios where the red flags were popping out at you, but you ignored it and you tried to explain it away. And again, I don't think it's until you get to the end that the narcissist really, really, really reveals himself or reveals herself, when you've realized that you've had enough of the situation and you're making your decision and you're making your plans to leave and planning on your exit strategy. That's when they really turn up. That's when they really turn up. And that's, as you said, Dominique, that's when you start seeing the sociopathic behavior start to come out. When you're messing with vehicles and you're sending death threats to people and you're doing smear campaigns, I mean, who has time for that? Who has time to be playing around with somebody's car? Who has time to be putting up posts on Facebook and Instagram and social media and calling people up on the phone and doing all this extra stuff? Who has time for that? If somebody don't want to be with you, they don't want to be with you. You can't force them to try to be with you. And then the fact that you don't want to accept it and you want to turn around and do all these negative and nasty things, do you think this is going to make me turn around and change my mind and say, okay, babe, let's work it out after you've wrecked up my car and had filed false charges against me and put on a whole smear campaign for the whole internet to see? Do you think this is really going to make me want to go back to you? That's the sociopath coming out. That's when you got to be careful. That's why we see so many stories of women missing, murder, suicides, all these different things. When these women try to leave the situation, the man is like, oh, hell no. Or the woman is like, oh, hell no. You're not going to make it without me.
Because women do that too. Yeah.
You're not with me, then nobody's going to be with me. If I can't have you, then nobody can. And that's when they really start trying to put dirt on your name, because they don't want anybody to be with you. They spread rumors and they spread lies, so people will stay away from you. They want you to be isolated, and they want you to be in a state where you feel like you don't have access to help and you don't have access to resources. And it's unfortunate because here in the state of Georgia, it just seems like the resources for women that are needing help with getting out of a situation, a domestic situation, whether it's a relationship, a partnership, a marriage, or whatever, it just doesn't seem like the support is really there. It just seems like they turn a blind eye almost, and they almost ignore all of your documentation that you have, your video recordings, your screenshots, all the things that you have to show that this person is doing this to me. And you have to go through so much to get a restraining order. You have to go through so much to kind of to legally create space between you and this person. And it just seems like it's just so unfair. And I understand why a lot of women feel like they're alone and they don't have any help and they don't have any support, because the justice system, the judicial system, seems to be failing us in this area.
And then, you have these people acting like victims. So you have them, crying and going to family and trying to get you locked up and talking to the authorities like they're victims and stuff. So that makes it harder for the person to get out of a situation, because now they're like, dang, like this person has switched it up. They're the victim now.
Yeah.
I mean, I never wanted to be the victim in none of my situations that I've had or relationships that I had in the past. I don't consider myself a victim. I consider myself a survivor, and I am never consider myself as a victim. Yes, I have cried. Yes, I have suffered. Yes, I have been through some shit. But at the end of the day, I strive because I want to be better. I don't want to be in that spot. You know what I'm saying? So I get up, I wipe my tears, and I keep it moving.
Yep.
So if you give these people the power over you, you're letting them basically determine your self-worth. And you're not going to win like that. No, you're not going to win. And when I say win, it's because these people look at life as a game. They look at it like that.
Yeah.
It's a win or lose. They want to win. So because they have to put you down to build themselves up, this is the way they can say, you need to play catch up. You need to catch up to me because I'm better than you. So when you end up leaving them and leaving the situation, leaving the relationship, it's a blow to their face. It's a
Yep.
blow to their face. You might as well get ready for it. And it's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
um they will violate your rights. They would they'll do everything, to make you bow down to them.
And it's really really difficult to be in that type of environment and to be in that type of situation when there's children involved, because when there's kids
Yes,
involved, you're the mother, the other person who's the narcissist slash sociopath potentially is the father, right? And you want to do the right thing because you want your kids to be able to have their other parent in their life. But if that other parent in their life is dangerous and is making death threats to you and threatening you and doing all types of physical damage to vehicles and showing up at your house and showing up at your job and doing all these things, it's like you have no choice but to go the legal route to create distance between you and that person. And when they've
absolutely.
gone through what they need to get through in order to learn how to co parent efficiently and effectively without intertwining the past years of the relationship, then that puts you in a good position. And that's what a lot of women need to think about. And I think that's a lot to unpack because they're like, oh, well, that's the father of my kids. Well, the father of your kids isn't being a good father to your kids if he's mistreating you. If he's
And
mistreating you,
we need to think about that as people, because I just had a conversation with my mother um not too long ago, and she made a very good point. You just have to be careful who you have kids with as well.
yeah,
I mean, if you're noticing signs and stuff like that, I know, we want to think the bit. That's the type of person that I am, that I is I always try to see the good in people. But she made a very good point. You need to be careful who you having all these kids by, because some people are not mentally stable.
yeah,
They have all type of personality disorders and stuff like that, and you just you just want to be careful. But at the
you have,
same time, it is not our fault. It
mm-mm,
is not our fault that your parents or whoever the case may be in your life did something to you, rejected you, or whatever the case may be. That is not our fault. So
right.
that's something that you have to deal with intellectually on your own. Get you some professional help, and don't try to put that on other people, because we don't have time for that.
Right.
But that's my Lily, did you have anything you want to say? We're going into 42 minutes, y'all. This conversation was good. We got some comments here. Somebody said, I have a lot of experience in this area. They have an inflated sense of self. Oh, hey guys. Hello.
Hey.
And convert narcissist is the worst.
Yep. Because they
Facts.
undercover. They undercover. That's the undercover narcissist.
They go crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they sure
Do you
do.
have some last thoughts, Lily?
Yes, I just want to say thank you guys for having me. This here conversation is very juicy because like a lot of people do not want to talk about this. A lot of people are afraid to open up about it, just worrying about what the others are going to say or how they may feel. um Narcissists are manipulative. I'm going to keep saying that. You have to watch those red flags that they send you. You have to be careful, listen to the things that they say. Just because they apologize for it, always keep that in the back of your head, because what you say when you're angry, it means something. So just keep that in the back of your head, all of the red flags, all of the signs that you see. Talk to somebody. If you feel like that they're separating you from your family or from your people, start talking to people and letting them know the signs, because I'm pretty sure someone could also tell you the signs before you can pick up on them. You just have to know the signs. lot that we could talk about on narcissists. Like it's a lot. Like
Yep.
it's a lot.
Brenna.
I think if you keep in mind to not allow yourself to be isolated, because that's what the narcissist wants. And like you were saying, Lily, talk to somebody, let your friends, let your family know like what's going on, what the situation is, so that they know to check on you, to check in on you and make sure that you're doing okay. For you to be able to vent to them, for you to be able to talk to them, for you to be able to work on solutions to resolving your situation and planning your exit strategy smartly, so that you're not running into situations where you're having to, if if you don't have to get law enforcement involved, then I think that would make for a smoother transition. But sometimes we can't avoid that. Sometimes there is no choice but to get law enforcement involved, because these people are not listening to what they're saying, what you're saying, and they feel like what they're saying and their power has more value over the law. They feel like they're above the law, and then they turn around and they try to manipulate the law so that it works in their favor. And as Dominique was saying, they try to play victim. I just say to anybody that's going through a situation and the red flags are starting to pop up, just look up the definition of narcissist. You don't have to be a psychiatrist. You don't have to be a psychologist. You don't have to be a therapist, but just look up the definition of what it means to be a narcissist and look at the signs and the symptoms. That should be able to start telling you whether or not you're involved in that type of situation. And if you are, then you need to start putting your plan into action. You need to start letting your friends and family know. You need to let people know where you at, where you going, what are you doing, so people can check up on you and make sure that you're doing okay. Because as I said, there's too many instances where we find out about these murder suicides, and these men and these women that have this disorder do not want to see their partner happy with somebody else. They would rather see you alone, crying in your room, struggling, not being successful, not making anything out of your life. They want to see that more than anything, because then they feel that you will then take them back and then they will regain their power. And that is not
Or
what we
or if anybody can't have you, I mean, if I can't have you, then nobody else can.
Nobody can. Yeah. You gotta watch out for that and pay attention to it, because it speaks volumes. And a lot of times, as I just said before, we don't really see and we don't really get it until we get to the end point where we decided that, you know what, I'm done. I'm finished. I can't
Mhm.
go on in this type of environment in this situation anymore. That's when it really starts to come out. That's when it really starts to rear its ugly head. And it's ugly and it's nasty. And you're going to feel bad. And you're going to have these days where you're like, is it me? What did I do? But the answer is no, it's not you. It's not what you did. It's them, and
Right.
they're not taking accountability for it. So you can't absorb somebody else's trauma. You can't heal somebody else's trauma. That is something that they have to do on their own. And for them to project those issues onto you with this narcissistic behavior and this sociopathic behavior is just sick. And I advise anybody that's going through that type of situation right now, reach out, use your resources, use your family, use your friends. There's a lot of resources available online to help you plan your exit strategy so you can get out without any harm to you, hopefully, and without any harm to your children. So
I
that's my
felt I felt that, and yeah, like my closing statement is like what I said earlier. Um I didn't just do my research. I heard from narcissist man that was telling their story.
Mhm.
They were diagnosed as narcissists, and they talk about it on YouTube. So I got to listen to some of their stories, and there's nothing that they didn't agree what with with the definition of being a narcissist.
Yeah,
So we're not responsible for your trauma. If you have trauma, you definitely need to seek some help. That's
yeah,
the best route to go. It is unfair to make other people lives miserable just because you feel miserable, and that's a you thing, you know.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
That's my ending statement for tonight. And Lily, we're not leaving until you tell us, what do you do?
Yes.
I am full-time student. I graduate in December. I don't have to go on campus. I'm so excited, y'all. I talked with my master's cosmetology degree. I do hair. I'm available Monday through
Congratulations.
Yes.
Friday.
Congrats.
I do hair Monday through Friday now. I'm back full time doing hair. I also run a lash business. I sell lashes wholesale. My little girl is also featured in my lash business. She's on the cosmetic side. She has her own lip gloss that we're about to start back relaunching in about a few more months. And I'm a full time mom.
And that is so amazing that you have your daughter in business as well.
Yeah.
How old is she?
5.
Oh, wow.
She's
Teach
5. She
her.
has gloss
She's
company.
gonna be a boss lady.
She's been doing lip gloss now for a year. So
That's good.
It's
That's
great
good.
that you're encouraging generational wealth and generational wealth building. That's something that, it's something that I wish we did more of, especially in the Black community and the Hispanic community. We need to do more of that for ourselves and for our children, and to leave them with a legacy. And you doing that with your daughter, I just think is amazing. And I'm giving you your flowers right now for doing that. That's just wonderful. I love that.
Also, tell everybody where they could go to your Facebook if you
my,
have any.
yes,
Yeah.
my Facebook is Lee's Lash 420. If you would go follow that page, and then my hair page, I do a lot on my hair page. With TikTok, I'm more of a family oriented. I do a little both, but on TikTok it's Hair Life with Lee.
Okay.
And then my booking website, if you want to book, it is linked under my bio on Facebook.
Okay.
All right, everybody. So y'all heard it. Check in with Lily.
Yes.
And thank you
And
so much. I enjoyed this conversation.
It was a good one. It
it
was
was a
one
good one.
that definitely needed to be had. So, ladies, if you're out there, listen, if you want to reach out, if you want to have a conversation, go to the Facebook group, go to the chat. You can post your comment there. You can send me or Dominique a message. We'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you, because there's too many of us that are going through this, and it needs to stop. We need to put an end to it. So hopefully we've given you some insights onto the red flags, some of the things that you need to look out for, and how to make sure that you go about taking care of yourself, because you've got to take care of yourself first before you can take care of anybody else.
All right, y'all. Peace out. Brenna. We have Brenna next Sunday. We'll see what she bring in. And we're excited. Have a
All
great
right,
day.
y'all.
Have a great night.
Have a
Bye.
good night. Bye.